Hello everybody, it's time for a scrapbook process video, and today I'm cracking into the scrapbooking coach's kit again because it's this Gothic, I think the name of it's Gothic Kitchen, and I was cracking into it because, hold on just a minute, I think the cat, no, I don't want to hear about it. Oh, here it is. The pictures are of my hubby and my bonus dad. We had gone to Branson and there was a wax museum, and Elvira's in there, you know, and my stepdad's been terribly misbehaving there. But anyways, I thought that was kind of cool and really apropos with, you know, kind of a Gothic-y, kitchen-y, or, you know, my goodness, y'all, stuff. So I've pulled out these three kind of bigger pieces because they seem to go like with the colors the best. This one's a little too peachy for the orange, but that's okay. I'm going to make it work. Stop chewing on that. And then I got these little pieces. I got this vellum again. I'm not sure I'm going to use it or not, but that's my little scraps I have, so we'll see. And then I'm looking at this paper issue sketch by Janessa Franco, and I'm liking it because the two pictures up here. I don't know yet about, like, I don't have, this doesn't have, like, a bunch of embellishments in a sense. Like, you get, you know, string and the little bats and things, and you can, of course, stamp. So I'll probably end up stamping and maybe in cutting, I'm not really sure. Or I may just mix media the thing. And then from a title, I'm going to use these little guys. I'm going to put Elvira, I think. Isn't that cute? E-L-V-I-R-A. And I think the cool part is I don't have to use anything twice, so I can do that. Again, I do have these here. This puzzles me. I've said that before. I guess you could do like a light blue and then put your bats in there. That could be, oh, that could be nice. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I need to think about that. So that's what I'm starting with. So give me just a minute. I got to kind of think through some stuff here. Figure out what I'm going to do. I do have orange here. Maybe I'll do that, actually, now that I'm doing that. This orange might be a little better. Might be I'll work with that. I don't know, y'all. See, I do this to myself. I changed my mind halfway through. Oh, I lost the word beware. I'll cut that off something earlier. All right, so that's what I'm going to start with. I got to make some decisions, obviously. I'll be back on in a second.
All right, you guys. I have actually, you can't see it quite yet, but I took the little, like, what is that called? It's not, maybe it's a gingham, the little black and white, and I gutted it, and I mounted the little, like, blurry newspaper print over the top, so it's kind of framed. That really wasn't shown on the sketch, but I kind of like doing that. And then I've got my orange, the paper that had the pumpkins on it. I've made my banner out of that. And then I'm going to take my little grungy word paper in a moment. I'm going to make the square. And I'm liking this color palette a lot. I'm kind of glad I switched from that peachy color to this orange. That was the right decision because it definitely goes with the orange lights in the photos. And so I really like it. Now this right here, I was trying to figure out a way not to have to cut into the flowers. I really wasn't going to use the pink, but in my head I'm going, okay, can I cut into this and then make the matte from the back? And I finally just gave up and go, well, you're going to end up with something, not matte, the square. I go, well, you're going to end up using it in some kind of way, so you might as well just cut it. And so I'm just kind of trying to figure out the size here. And y'all, I still managed to make it too tall. I don't know how. I don't think I could see my bottom mark. Like I cut and then I thought I saw it, but it was, thankfully it was longer than I needed, not shorter. But I cut a little bit too long and so I'll have to trim it. But that's all right. And then what I do decide to do, and I don't think I do it on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of all the papers with the black soot. You kind of see it on the right-hand side over there. That's also what I'm going to end up using in my stencil and on the stamp. So I'm going to use that same black soot. I will tell you my stamping was not a perfectionist stamp, but it's okay because these letter stamps are the like ransom note stuff and they don't have to be perfect, so it's okay. All right, so I've kind of got my stuff figured out there. Now I will in a minute, I am going to mat those photos. I don't show you on camera that I do it, but I will do that in just a minute. Now this is where I'm going to try to make the tag. This is the part, what is the back side of this? I don't remember what the back side of this was. I used it for something, but this is actually going to be what I make the little tag out of that's shown on the sketch, and then I'm going to use some of that orange twine, but I'll make that tag in just a moment. I'll use that We Are Memory Keeper thing there. What is that called? The We All-in-One tool. Here's where I'm finishing up the photo match. You can see I use the little gingham stuff, and then I'm going to just use the little wood grain that's the back side, and that's going to be the little photo mats. Now I will go ahead and rough the edges. I'll scuff the edges with my little Tim Holtz tool of the photo, the outside photo mat. I didn't do the inside, but that's okay. Oh, it's a gingham, not the stripe. The little gingham is behind the photo first, and then I'll put the little wood grain. And I like how this looks. I didn't ink the edges of these, but I will ink the edges of the orange paper and the grungy word paper. And I did ink the edge, by the way, of that blurry newspaper print stuff. So here's where I'm going to make the little tag part. I actually have a tag punch, but I don't know for sure if it goes 2.5 inches. I should have looked, but I had this in front of me, like with me, so I go, well, I'll just use my little We Are Memory Keeper thing here. And so then I'm going to kind of just size everything up in just a minute. So I end up pretty close to the sketch, although I use the stencil instead of like embellishments in a way. This kit, I'm not going to say it didn't come with embellishments because that's really unfair when it came with, you know, all kinds of stamps and all kinds of stuff like that, but didn't come with like, you know, ephemera or things like that. So you kind of have to make it work with either the cut-aparts or something along those lines. So, but that's totally fine. I'm happy with it. So, I mean, again, I said this before. This is probably one of the most unique kits I've gotten in a long time. And that's not to, I mean, I love the kits I do get, actually. I love everything I get or I wouldn't get it. I just stopped getting those subscriptions and things. But this one's just different. I just thought it was neat. So I've got my little tag built right there. All right, now, in the sketch, there's this, like, circular thing. It looks a little bit like mixed media or something. I'm going to use a black pen in just a second. But I'm going to assemble, like, this photo block first. And I'm going to end up putting the right-hand photo up on foam. I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of, I'm going, I'll just lay it there and I'll put my glue down there, y'all. I don't want to mess it up after I figure it out. I will have a little bit of a mess at the end with the sequins. You'll see that in just a little bit too. But anyways, I'm going to put the foam behind my little photo here. That's my, so again, I kind of mentioned in the beginning this, we'd gone to Branson last year. We just went a little, like, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 days. I have to look at my calendar. But I think it was a 4-day thing. And, oh, that might have been 3-day. But anyway, we went with my mom and my bonus dad, and we just went for a little baby vacation. And they had this wax museum in Branson. And I have tons and tons of pictures, y'all. I actually made a layout not too long. Well, I guess it's been a few months back now. It was a grid layout, and I think I had, I don't know, 10 pictures or something like that. But this one, there's a couple of these that I didn't scrap them on that grid layout. So these are kind of funny. There's a couple of funny ones. I have another one of my mom, like on the Titanic, I think I need to do. Or, you know, it's a fake Titanic, but I think I need to do that one. I think I can use like an ocean paper for that one. That'll be cute. And then I have like, we have some with like, you know, pink or maybe it was Ariana Grande. I don't even know. We have silly little pictures with, Star Trek. I know there's some stuff with Star Trek. I might have to do something with that. So I have some cute pictures. And these were like a set, right? Because this is the Elvira. And my stepdad was leaning over pretending to lick her chest, y'all. So it's like, oh my goodness. So it was funny. And I thought the pictures were great. So here's where so I've done my little black circle with a pen. And here's where I'm going to take out my black soot with the stencils here, and I'm going to do these bats. I decided these bats would be a really good option for the little mixed media stuff she kind of showed on the sketch. It had like splotchy stuff if you want to think about the packaging technique or something. So I'm kind of doing this instead of that, and I like this. I think this looks kind of neat. Now I'm going to wipe my stencil off, and I'm going to flip it around so the bats are going to be flying the other way on the upper right. I think I'm just double checking my sketch here to make sure I'm putting them in the same kind of spot. And then I decide, you know what, I need to flip these over. I don't want the bats going the same direction on this side. So it takes me just a second. I got to wipe these off. And then, sorry, this takes me a second, y'all. I kind of like this, though, the little bats and everything. I don't know how often I would use bats other than like a Halloween layout or something like that. Well, I guess this isn't even technically Halloween, is it? It's just Elvira. Did anybody ever used to watch Elvira? That's been so long, y'all. I don't even know when that was. Was it the 80s? I assume it was the 80s, maybe the late 80s, where she was on. It was like if I remember correctly, because I was young. I'm going to call myself young anyways. I think it was like a little Friday night type deal where you got to watch a little scary show, and she was like the hostess or something, as I recall. So anyway, I pulled out the Dylusions black ink, and I'm sprinkling this around. And that lower left down there, that's where I'm going to stamp this word Elvira. I've already got the stamps pulled out, stuck on my little block, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go, right? So I get my ink on here, and I don't know how I managed to do it, but I put every letter down except the end on the A on the end. So I do this real good, and then I miss my A, and I go, oh, shoot. But thankfully, of course, they're clear, and it's on a clear block and all that kind of stuff. So I just pulled off the letters that stamped okay, and I lay my A back down there. But again, it's not 100% perfect, but you know what? Since it's that ransom, you know, letter looking stuff, it's okay. It looks kind of grungy anyway, so no big deal. So I've got that ready to go. I think now, did I put those other, I think I stamped these other little bats down here. So there's a little stamp with the bats too, and I like those. And I'm going to stamp that kind of over those jars. That'll actually inspire me in just a minute to do something else. But I'm going to put these here. I think I actually do this one, and then I'll kind of ink just some of the smaller ones or whatever. And I'll do a second little image of those bats. I think this layout turned out pretty neat, actually. It's not terribly complicated. I mean, I did do kind of a lot of inky, stampy stuff. But the actual, like, layout itself, the sketch was easy to follow, which I enjoyed. Okay, so I've kind of got all that going on. I'm looking at my stamps again. Okay, what can I do? I'm thinking to myself. I go, oh, you know what? I think I need to go ahead and glue my photo block down. So I'm going to glue that down. Look at that. That looks really neat, right? Now with the little bats and stuff going on there. So I like that a lot. I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to decide, I think that's where I decided to pull out. I think I was putting stuff up, right? I was getting ready to get done. And I realized Saturn was sitting on the little bat sequins. So I pulled the Beware out. I'd had that laying there, and I thought, okay, I need to go ahead and ink the edge of it, and I need to go ahead and get that down at the bottom. That's kind of where the other embellishment cluster was. It's not the title, but I'm going to stick that down here. It takes me just a second, too. I lay it the wrong direction, and I go, that's not what I wanted. And I pull it up, and then I lay it down wrong again, and then I pull it up again. I go, no, that's not what I want either. I pull that up 3 times before I realize, okay, this is where I want it. So that goes there. And then I find this little, the little small phrases or whatever the Tim Holtz. I pulled that out because I go, I thought there's got to be something in there kind of snarky or something. And it says something about she was trying to make a scene. And I'm so sorry I can't tell you because Saturn is currently sitting on top of the layout. And she's been in a mood. You can see she's sitting there. And she's been kind of, I don't know, like real in my business this morning. Sometimes are better than others. Like, see her? She's kind of just all up in there. And she's sitting on the layout right now, so I can't see it. But this is where I realized she was sitting on those sequins. And I thought, oh, I can add those. And I had seen Shannon over at She's Crafty. She kind of took glue and made like a big old border. So I got in my head, you know what? I'm going to put bats in the bottom of these jars and kind of have them come up because I've stamped those bats. And I thought, well, that might be kind of cool. It'll look like the bats are coming from the jars. So I put a little glue in the very bottom of the jar space, and I'm going to sprinkle these sequins on here. Now, the funny part is I'm trying to spread the glue and all that stuff. Those sequins get all over my hands. I can't get them off. But it ends up looking really neat. So I'm not sad about it, but I'm trying to like spread it out a little bit. And I kind of want some kind of going up into the jar a little bit too. You know, I just kind of want to make it look like they're kind of in the jar, but going up out of the jar kind of deal. And I've got that glue all over my hands, y'all. And these bats are tiny. They're just tiny little bat sequins. I love them. I don't know how I'm going to ever use them all. I mean, you almost have to just make tons of shaker pockets. So I'll have to make a few more of those. But anyway, I'll do this jar, and I'm going to cut over because I'm just going to do the second jar essentially the same kind of way. I'll just kind of put glue on the bottom and all that. But it's kind of shiny. It's got like this neat little texture to it. And that's what I'm going to do over that side. And I think that's basically all I'm going to do. I don't do it on camera, but I will stamp the date underneath the pictures on the little orange banner there. So, but I do that after I decide. I take the picture and the slow down, all that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, I don't show that to you, but I do have the date stamped on there underneath the pictures. But there you go. You can see the shininess of those little bats. Isn't that neat? And then here's my little layout here with all my little stenciling and all that kind of stuff. I like this. I think this turned out kind of cool, and I got to use my orange and my black and all the good stuff. And look at that. Isn't that neat? Y'all have a great day. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye.